So apparently she went out and got into an argument with a man. Got to arguing with him and stuff like that. And then I guess like he tried to get physical with her. So she ended up leaving the club or whatever. Her friend stayed, she left. She ended up texting the guy that she was dating, telling him about what was going on. Instead of him jumping to her defense, he said, first of all, you wasn't even supposed to be there tonight.
Yeah, now that's
Secondly, why would you argue with a man in a club and I'm not there?
Yeah.
Third of all, why would you argue with the man in a club? Period. You don't know this man. You don't know what he got outside in his trunk. You don't know nothing. So basically, he told her, you're wrong. You know, you don't listen. You're at this point, I don't even want to deal with you no more because you won't even allow me to lead. You don't listen to nothing that I say. I'm not about to lose my future. I'm not about to lose my life because I'm defending you when you decided to be dumb in that moment.
That man did exactly what he was supposed to do. Kick this chick to the curb. She was nothing but a current problem, and she was definitely going to be a future problem. The fact that he even had to tell her all that is the first problem. He shouldn't even have to say that to her. And I don't like chicks like this. This is the type of chick that wants you to get caught up in some garbage and fight and all this dumb stuff over her. And I say that because she called and told him about what happened right after she left the club because she was looking for him to respond. Now, she's going to probably lie and say, no, that's not it. I just wanted to share it with him. No, you wanted him to say something, to do something like he was going to protect you. But that man wasn't on that type of time. And I'm so proud of this brother too, because so many men would have probably tried to make her happy and do whatever he thought she would have wanted, but not that dude. And I can tell that dude got some standards and he has respect for himself for not even getting involved in that situation. In this game of life, you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And that was the time to fold them. There was nothing good that was going to come from that chick. If she's doing this now, you know she's going to be doing it later. And like he said, you don't want to risk or lose everything you built up to this point because your girlfriend don't listen to you, can't control her mouth, and is willing to argue with a strange dude in a public place. Yeah, I'm cool on that.
If you're not wealthy, leave me the alone. If you're broke, leave me the alone. Can't afford me. I'm done.
This is hilarious coming from a girl walking down the street trying not to miss her bus. Y'all see that little turnaround she had at the end? That right there? That was her checking for the bus. Don't worry about it, lady. You ain't miss your bus. It's still coming.
What's one thing your dad has taught you? They would probably have something to say.
Yeah, I'll be loving that.
You ask me that, I'm gonna be like,
give me a moment to think about it.
So let's say this then.
You could give me forever to think about it.
What value did your dad add to your life? No, it's really, like, do not tell. So he never paid for nothing. He never did.
I mean, he probably paid for some stuff.
All right. So what about if did you ever feel like if you was in danger, you can call your dad?
For sure.
All right.
1,000%.
So you got a personal bodyguard for your whole entire life growing up. There's a lot of ladies that didn't have that. So you might have didn't get the words of wisdom, but his presence alone protected you in ways that you couldn't even see. So you feel me? So it's like every man don't got the capacity to articulate and deliver and do these things, but that don't mean I'm telling you, like, the presence of a man alone changes the whole entire landscape of a woman's life. And social media tried to take that element out. And I explained to you how.
I agree with that statement for sure.
I'm telling you, down to, look at it like this, right? I've said it, it ain't like you're gonna get into too many physical altercations. You're like, I would hope not, right? But the presence of a man prevents that as well. Prevention is a mother, because why do you think the president has Secret Service? They not on the job all day shooting, killing, like ducking from, but their presence alone stops people from trying the president. Like, a man could have nothing. He could be just dressed with nothing in his pockets and just walk down the street with you, and your day-to-day experience would be different. Just from that alone.
Your man was kicking straight facts. It drives me crazy how much men are downplayed as far as their everyday contributions. A lot of people only talk about men when it comes to money, but there are so many other things that a man could add to someone's life that people just don't talk about. I love the analogy he said about the Secret Service. If the Secret Service wasn't there, it'd be a lot rougher for the president. And not just this president, all presidents, which is why they added the Secret Service in the first place. A lot of times you don't understand how valuable something is until you don't have it. This is why when I see a woman come online saying, if a man can't pay my bills, he can't do nothing for me, all I can do is shake my head, because they're missing what the essence of a man is. If you went out and picked a good man, he can bring so much more to your life than just paying your bills. Now, some women truly understand that. They do. But there are a lot of women who are just confused on what a man actually is. We aren't just paychecks. We aren't just wallets. We have way more value than that. And I also want to say, I don't like what this chick did in the video. You can see she was intentionally trying to make it seem like her father wasn't that valuable. I mean, she started out saying he didn't teach her anything, which I really doubt, because a lot of stuff is taught without saying anything. You just watching him can teach you how to do something. So I didn't like that part, but I also didn't like the part when he asked, what did he do for you? And she said, well, he probably paid for some stuff. Really? This lady in this video is probably 20, 30 years old. And you're telling me your father has been in your life for 20, 30 years and he's only paid for some stuff? I'm pretty sure there was a lot more stuff than you are trying to make it seem like in this video. And I know she was doing it just to kind of make her point, but it just drives me crazy because don't act like that stuff wasn't important when he was paying for it. Just like somebody asking me, what did your mother do for you as a kid? And I'm like, well, she fed me some stuff, you know, she gave me some food. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to downplay it, like she didn't make sure my belly was full when I was a child. I just don't like that because it was very intentional, but I love what this brother had to say. I appreciate him schooling these women. I'm not sure if it kicked in for the first lady, but at least the other lady on the show got what the man was trying to say.
So I recently became single. After 4 years, my ex-boyfriend, he decided that he wanted to be single and move out.
Now, I'm not saying that isn't true, but in a lot of those situations, there is more to that story than she's telling us or he's telling you.
So, you know, when I tell people or people in my circle, some of them, they'll be like, oh, girl, it's his loss. He'll be off the market soon. But I'm like, really? At 46? You think it's that many single men out here that I'm just gonna be snatched up like that? I appreciate the encouragement. You know, I know that they know what, you know, about my character and the good woman that I am and have been. However, I think most of the men are taken or settled, or if they are in that age like my ex, they want to be single. They want to be lifetime bachelors. So it's like really looking for a unicorn because, I mean, also the bar was kind of set high, you know, with the men that I dated and, you know, as far as like what I want in a relationship. So it's just like, I don't know if it's just like gonna be that simple.
And I also want to add, you said that you set your bar pretty high. So if that means you're going to be out here looking for one of these top tier men, like every other woman out there from your age and older, all the way down to 20, things might get shakier than an earthquake.
Or whatever. And I've never used a dating app. I, you know, don't really do social media like that. Like, you know, I know people that like, they say they meet people off Instagram, all that stuff. I've never did any of that type of stuff. I don't go to the bar. Pretty much I go to work, take my daughter back and forth to school, go to the grocery store and get my hair done, go to the mall or whatever. Then, speaking of that, hair, like all these men and their requirements about natural hair, and I'm unbelievable. I got on makeup. You know, it's not an everyday thing, but it's just like, I don't know if I fit into society's, you know, what the men out here that are single are looking for. That's another thing. So it's just like, you know, if it's gonna happen, it's probably gonna be it's like a unicorn that I'm gonna have. Like, I don't know. But anyways, so in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to enjoy and adapt and make the most of this single life.
I want to start by saying I appreciate her being vulnerable and sharing her thoughts about this situation. And I also appreciate her not just listening to her friends, letting them take her right to Delulu land, because that's exactly where they were trying to take her. Now let's go back to what she originally said. She said her last boyfriend left her because he wanted to run the streets. I am not saying that's not true, but in a lot of these situations, when a man or woman break up, people are not being honest with that person. He may have left and just said he wanted to explore the streets, but the fact is there were probably a lot of other things wrong that he didn't tell you. And when someone asks you what happened, you'll just say, oh, well, he just wanted to run the streets, when the fact is you were probably coming up short in certain areas. I am not saying that's a situation, but this happens a lot when it comes to relationships. And there's also the possibility that he did tell her everything he didn't like and all the things that she was doing wrong. She ignored all of that and just chalked it up to him just wanting to run the streets. So it could be either one. Either way it goes, nobody's perfect. And I'm pretty sure there were some things that you did wrong. Hopefully you are working on those things so you are better for the next relationship. I also want to address the part when you said there will be limited options for a woman of your age and your stature. And I think you are correct when you say that. When you start getting into this age bracket, a lot of the men your age and older, some of these men date younger girls, some of these men are married, some of these men are choosing to be single. So your options aren't the same as they were before. This doesn't mean you don't have any options. They're just not going to be the same as you're used to having. Now, I will say in the video, you said your bar is high. If that's the case and you're going after the same man that all these other women are going after, that is going to limit your options even more. Because you even said in the video that you may need to get a unicorn. Well, there's a lot of other women laying in their beds right now waiting for that unicorn to show up. And guess what? He ain't coming. So if you want to have a real chance of finding someone to share your life with, you may just want to open up your options just a little bit so you have a better chance. And also, you said you don't go anywhere, you don't do anything. It's going to be really hard to meet a man, especially the type of man that you're looking for, if all you do is go to the store, the mall, and go home. That's going to make it difficult. So you may have to expand the things you are doing as well if you want to have a chance of meeting somebody new. I also want to address the part that you said, based on how men are speaking nowadays, you might not be the type of woman that these men want. Well, I disagree with that. There are men out there who are okay with women wearing makeup and weaves and wigs and all that stuff. You'll just have to meet one of those men, because the men who don't like that, they don't like that. There's nothing you can do about it. There are also men out there who don't like women in their 40s and all this other stuff. So if you run across a good guy who don't mind your makeup, wigs, your age, even if he's not perfect, I'm not saying date a bad guy, but even if that man is not perfect, you might want to consider giving him a chance, because like I said before, your options will be limited. People hate, my bad, women hate when you say stuff like you have limited options, but that is the reality. People want to do whatever they want to do and don't think there's going to be a price to pay for that. There's people out there who smoke cigarettes. They have cut off like 60-70% of their dating options, but they want to smoke cigarettes, so that's what comes with it. You have to know when you do certain things, you're going to eliminate some of your dating options. It is what it is, and when it comes to makeup and hair and all that stuff, that falls into the same category. With that being said, I do appreciate your realistic outlook on it, because things may be a little hard, so be very open to dating the men who want you. If you do that, you do have a chance of meeting somebody who is going to be fine with you and what you have going on. Hopefully this helps you out. Leave your thoughts in the video. I appreciate y'all watching. See you next time.